Yes, people. We are live for the game week. Well, bit of 19 review and the game week 20 preview. We're live again. Hope you guys. First things first. Hope you guys have had a great Christmas period so far with families. We've got a lot of results to catch on about. Arsenal, Arsenal things. United obviously got the 3 points, but we'll go into that. But first, let's add our wonderful guests. First of all, we've got our co-host himself, Manny. How you doing, Manny? You're on mute, Manny. You're on mute.
Yes, I'm all good, thank you. And the reason why I was on mute was because I'm just munching on an apple. Nothing beats a good old Granny Smith. An apple a day keeps sadness away. Exactly. And I can't say it keeps a doctor away because my dad's a doctor.
Yeah, exactly.
And
keeps Arsenal away as well, yeah.
I wanted to mute my mic for that purpose, unless you guys and girls were happy to have some ASMR action going on. So, yeah, Christmas period was good. Christmas Day, I went for the the morning mass at the biggest Catholic church in our city. Then went to temple for my mum. She actually had passed away on Christmas Day 2 years ago, so I just wanted to offer some praise for her. Went to a couple of shopping malls, took in a gym session, bought some grilled chicken. No turkey, but no problems. I'm happy.
Exactly. Last night, don't think you was happy, but we'll get on to that.
Yeah, we'll get on to that. We will get on to that, and I have a lot to say. I don't think Ollie or Waleed are going to like what I have to say, but I have to say it.
Yeah, exactly. But as you mentioned it, we do have the man himself, Ollie. How you doing, Ollie?
I'm good. Obviously a bit disappointed at the result, but I guess we need to beat Fulham now. We'll talk about that as well. But yeah.
You must beat Fulham. You must. We do have himself, Believe.
Oh, hello guys, man. So let me tell my life actually. The Lions have curious. Yeah. Anyway, Manny was talking about how he's gonna say things I might not like. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you guys watch my latest video, I'm ready, because I have a feeling that we're gonna have the same views and opinions, but we'll save that for when we get into it. But happy to be on the show once again. Final one of the last ones of 2023, so can't wait to get into it.
And we do have a new panel tonight. Let's introduce him from Full Time Podcast. How are you doing? Big up to you.
Hi, I'm happy because we're beating Arsenal 2-0. So, yeah, because I'm a West Ham fan, very happy.
Oh, great West Ham fan, lovely.
It's good. It's good to have a West Ham fan here. So big up to you.
Forever blowing bubbles, are we, mate?
Yeah.
And you burst out.
Who's an Arsenal fan here?
Yeah, so Manny, all three of them are Arsenal fans actually. Manny, Ollie,
okay, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have a field day today, mate. We'll have a field day.
Field day. But you know what? Let's just recap. We'll just start it off first. West Ham. David Moyes went to Emirates and got the 3 points. I'm gonna go to the West Ham fan first. I know Arsenal were the host team, but it's good to have an opposition say. But what's your thoughts? Obviously, big win for your team. And yeah, what's your thoughts?
Well, I just think we were really good defensively, to be honest. I think Ogbonna was brilliant at the back. I think he made about 6 clearances and 4 blocks or something. Yeah. We've really got a bargain out of Mavropanos as well for only 17 million, and he got a goal today. Whether that was in or not, I don't know what you lot think. I mean, it was probably out, like with common sense, but I guess there's no clear and obvious evidence that it is. So, because you can't actually see where the ball is. And we scored 2 anyway, so I guess we probably deserved the win. I just think you didn't take your chances. And
Exactly. And, I think all Arsenal fans can agree with me when I have to say this. Last Christmas, we were top of the league, but by the end of May, we'd thrown it away. This year, There will be more tears as we finish without the title. Rest in peace, George Michael. Nobody could do it better than he did. And before I start, I'm going to say this right now. All of those Arsenal fans who were sneering at Unai Emery after Aston Villa lost to United, deservedly so, the Arsenal fans didn't need to sneer at Unai Emery. He's no longer managing the club. And they were also having the temerity to gas up the Arsenal, saying, we're going to smash the hammers, hammer them down by a big margin. It's not about if we win, it's by how much we win. We deserved everything we got. Instead of just mince pies, we got a nice serving of humble pie. Now, it was a tactical masterclass, really, from David Moyes. And I see we've got the Chelsea fan and fellow co-host joining in to, enjoy the salt being rubbed into our wounds, but whatever.
For some reason.
As I've said, it was a defensive masterclass from David Moyes, and as our dear friend Full-Time Pod has mentioned, it was a towering display from Ogbonna and the ex-gunner Mavropanos, who pretty much prevented us from getting any kind of real foothold in the game offensively. Whenever we were doing some really good work in the midfield, and Odegaard was moving the ball well, finding some good passes. The only problem was I think he was being double teamed a great deal, so I think he probably ran out of energy far too quickly, and we just weren't able to use our formation as effectively as we wanted because they countered us very well. And Jared Bowen in particular was having a whale of a game really in the midfield and creating a great deal of stuff. Of course, I do know that Bowen was playing up front, but he was also effectively the driving force in the middle. And segueing into the first goal, when I take a look at the replays, my first reaction was that if you were to take a look at it in the straight line, there would be a part of the ball, a hairline margin, that wouldn't have gone across the line. And it's now effectively a situation where you give the benefit of doubt to the attacking team because the ball has to completely cross the line before it can be adjudged out. And again, whether or not we can debate on the merits of VAR, and I do believe that if you do have better technology that could be used, just like the technology that was used in the World Cup, which came to Japan's aid on one occasion, if memory serves me right, you've got to use it. But again, we see these Premier League bigwigs love the controversy being generated by VAR, and so they're not going to, be willing to implement these changes, even if it means that slowly but surely they're going to start losing a few more fans. But there are some sensible fans who will say, and big up to Kenny Ken, by the way, it's the same thing that happened with the Newcastle goal. Whatever happens, you've got to play to the whistle. You cannot have a situation where Jared Bowen is able to, run to the ball and somehow manage to hook it. You've got to play to the whistle. And we failed to do that once again. And, it might have been a little bit harsh to be behind the end of the first half because the goal was against the run of play. We were having some of the better chances. I think full marks to Alphonse Areola for that brilliant save he made from the Saka header, an absolute world-class reflex save. Probably the best chance we had all game, I would say. Because had it not been for his left hand, that would have gone definitely in. But he also made a couple of other fine saves in the game. So we have to take our hat off to the French goalkeeper. And in the second half, though, we needed to score early. We couldn't do so. And once again, poor defending from a set piece. The ex-gunner rises up and glances it back into the net, off the underside of the bar. And the worst part is that when we played Bournemouth last season, we went 2-0 down before the hour mark. There was always a belief that given Bournemouth's lowly position and how they were looking to try and, sit on the lead and defend the lead and their own lack of experience, we could come back in. But it was as if every chance we tried to create, we just seemed to, keep on failing. And even after taking off Martinelli and Zinchenko, and bringing on Nelson and Nketiah, it meant that we didn't have any, left-sided fullback. But, we might as well have been playing without him. Such was the atrociousness of his defending. And by the time the final whistle ended, the story was supposed to be about Declan Rice having a masterclass against his former club. Instead, it was the ex-gunner, Mavropanos, who pretty much took it away from us. And just like Joe Willock earlier this season, just like Theo Walcott and to some extent Danny Welbeck last season, it's the ex-gunners who could end up hurting us. I do know that Mr. B, who's come in and gone back out, said it's a case of biting the hand that fed them in a way. But some of these players were discarded for being not quite good enough for some reason. So for them to come back and score against us, I mean, they're perfectly entitled to celebrate. And that's exactly what Mavropanos should have done. If I were in his position, there was no way I would have held back from celebrating. And we need games like this to make us see that we are nowhere near as good as we think we are, as was the game against Aston Villa. And unless we have an honest look at ourselves and appraise what we need in our squad, and also take a look at the system and see that it's not working and we need to change it, we're not going to get anywhere. You know how they say insanity is doing the same thing again and again and expecting a better result than last time? If we keep playing Zinchenko again and again, we have to expect poor performances from him again and again. And so I don't see us ending the year top of the league, so much for being Christmas champions. And unless we take a good hard look at ourselves, it's going to be the same story again and again. And before I end, I will say this. We are 10 points behind where we were last season. So let's not even entertain any thoughts of us challenging for the title this time around until we can really get our act together and start to move away. And if City win their game in hand, they'll go back to second. So much for them being in a crisis.
Yeah. Waleed, over to you now. What do you have to say about this result?
I mean, there's not really much I can say that hasn't been said already. The one thing that I'm hoping that came out of this game was the fact that surely the Cronkies or whoever, Edu, saw that game and saw that we need to have a killer striker in front of goal. Some of the chances that created today, the chance that created yesterday, the problem wasn't about creating chances because Odegaard dropped an absolute masterclass yesterday and he got let down by absolute bums around him, for being honest. I don't understand. I don't know why Arteta thinks this is the MLS All-Stars or this is the pre-season to be playing Trossard as an 8. That doesn't work. He's clearly a winger and he's way more impactful coming off the bench. And I haven't been impressed with him for a long time now, for a good solid month. I've not been impressed with his performances. Ben White has dropped off massively. Zinchenko's never been really that great defensively. Martinelli has had the drop-off of a century. I don't know what's happened with him. I think he just needs to have an arm around the manager and have a bit of one-to-one coaching or something because that's been horrible. Saka hasn't scored a non-penalty goal since September in the Premier League. That's shocking. We need to see more of him. And Gabriel Jesus is a clinical striker. And I knew this from last season. I knew this basically from when we bought him because there would be no reason why Man City would willingly be letting him go to come to Arsenal. The best thing we can do is play him on the left wing. Of course, we have to look at like financial fair play and stuff like that if we want to sign players like Tony or whatever. But if we don't make any solid signings, I'm not trying to see no 15-year-old wonder kids from Brazil or from Ecuador or whatever coming in January. We need experience in this team now. We've had enough of the youth, enough of embedding players into the squad. I've had enough of that now. I need seasoned pros. I need players that are going to be coming in week in, week out and doing the job. Doesn't matter whether they're on loan or whatever. If we don't do that, you can kiss the Premier League title goodbye. Because this entire season, it's not just this game, it's not just Villa, it's not just Newcastle. This entire season, we have not really been playing some great football. The best game that I can probably remember in terms of us dominating was maybe Brighton. I can't remember any other games over a short period of time where we've actually dominated the opposition. In terms of creating chances, is not a problem, as I said. Arteta, I just feel like he's a bit too stubborn. It's either my way or the highway, and that's not going to work in this Premier League. A lot of people were slating him at the start of the season for trying to have a plan B. The plan B wasn't really working with the Thomas Partey at right back and stuff like that to try and have more midfield dominance. It works against the small teams, but against the big teams, you're going to get found out. My problem isn't the fact that he's trying to make a plan B. It's just we're not doing enough, clearly. On the training pitch, we're not doing enough in general because these players look like there's no excuse. Like, you can't make an excuse. West Ham, I don't want to take anything away from West Ham. West Ham came there, they did a job. Not only have they done a job on us, they've done a job on United, done a job on Chelsea, done a job on Tottenham. They're probably the best London club right now. And it's crazy to say, but that's just how it is. But when it comes to Arsenal, You can't have any excuses. You can't say we have an injury crisis because we don't. You look at Chelsea, who've had an injury crisis this season. Man United have had an injury crisis. Newcastle are still having one. There's so many other teams around us are having injury crises themselves. That's actually a crisis. We're missing 2-3 first-team players. And to be honest, if we're speaking of one of those players, we're missing Thomas Partey. I think if Thomas Partey was playing yesterday, it may have been a different game because I feel like we needed those sort of passes to just break the lines. I'm sick and tired of us trying to do the dilly-dally and trying to play the
You have
perfect
105
in and
million
around the
Declan
box.
Rice better than Rodri. Damn.
Yeah,
Why can't he
I
pass
thought he was
those
the
balls?
best CDM in the world because listen, I was
Declan Rice isn't. I'm not blaming Declan Rice for us losing yesterday. Yeah, he gave away a penalty.
No,
yesterday
but you
which
talk
Rice
about
saved.
Thomas Partey passing those types of passes. Why can't Declan Rice? That's it. Of course, he is the best DM in the world.
Yeah, of course. And you're 115 million midfielder gave away a penalty to West Ham in his debut as well. But we're not going to talk about that. But what I am going to say is this is alarming. It is alarming. And the performance yesterday wasn't good enough in all fronts. You can't make any excuses. It's simply down to the manager. And I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah? I'm nowhere near Arteta. I've been Arteta before, which a few of you guys know, but years ago when I didn't see a structure. I do see a plan. I do see a process. Arteta's not failed at Arsenal. I want to get that completely out of the way. To say that he has failed is factually incorrect. If you look at the data, since he's taken over, we're the third best team in England in terms of points acquired. He's not failed as a manager at Arsenal. However, when you're looking at the manager that's going to take us to the next level, you're looking at Jurgen Klopp, who's got that mentality. He knows how to win. Yeah, he's struggled against a Man City team that have dominated the Premier League for years and years, but he's at least won the Premier League in that time period. He's won a Champions League. He's won all the domestic cups against Chelsea. But when you're looking at even Pep Guardiola, for example, he's got that mentality. I don't see the mental shift in this team. I don't see this team where we can be like Man City and just win 10, 15 games on the spin and just win a Premier League title like that. Or Liverpool. I don't see it in this team. When you look at the players, when we're the only player in even the Newcastle game and the Villa game who I could probably say we could turn to and actually like put a shift on was Rice. And Rice yesterday was poor. Like by standards, it was his worst Arsenal game. Crazy as against West Ham, but that's just how life is. But we need to have a player that could just take games by the scruff of the neck. Odegaard, yes, he had a great game yesterday, but overall this season he's been average. We'll be 100% sure he's been average. Martinelli's been poor all season. Defense, Saliba and Gabriel have been great. It wasn't their best games yesterday. I'll be 100% honest. David Raya, in my opinion, has picked up form in recent weeks. He has looked much better, and I've been much more confident with him in goal. So I haven't got a problem with him as of right now. However, overall, in terms of the team, we just need to do more. And it has to start from Fulham. If we don't win, and I don't mean no 1-0 grinding out, if we don't convincingly get a result against Fulham, or even don't get a result at all, alarm bells are ringing. Because the fact that there are people that are writing Arsenal off of the Premier League title when we've lost one game, that just shows that nobody believes in us. Do I believe in this team in terms of winning a Premier League title? As of right now, probably not. Time will tell. Obviously, you never know. But that performance today was shocking yesterday. That performance was unacceptable, especially at home. The main thing that we've been boasting about, we haven't lost at home all season. Nobody can come beat us at home. West Ham tucked us in. They said good night, put us in bed, turned the light off, and left the room. They absolutely tucked us in, and that's unacceptable. Lost twice to them this season. Can hear these guys down the road. It's unacceptable. We need to be doing bad, man. If you want to win a Premier League title, that's shocking. Let's be done, man.
Ollie, over to you, Ollie. What's your thoughts? Obviously, Willie and Manny both said that Arsenal need a striker and such as that to need to do more. What's your overall feeling and your thoughts on the result?
Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed. We just didn't really finish off our chances. We just we let them score. You know, obviously the first goal was a bit controversial, but it they got it, and then obviously set piece goal. But I think we need a striker. I think we need Tony. Obviously, not good enough. We need to bounce back against Fulham.
Yeah, obviously Mr. B's not happy, but obviously big up to Mr. B for joining. But yeah, I mean West Ham good win. Obviously back to you.
Enough about Tony. Stop saying about Tony. Thanks.
Yeah, exactly. But for that podcast, I'm going to go to you because there's been a lot of question marks with David Moyes. I mean, I've been seeing West Ham fans saying that can he take us any further? Some have been disappointed the way the football has been playing. What's your thoughts with David Moyes? Are you happy with him? Do you want him to stay? Are you guys looking for any other manager? Or what's your thoughts?
I think last season winning the Conference League probably papered over all the cracks because we got 40 points last season in the league, which is like the bare minimum in the Premier League. So, yeah, I think it sort of saved his job winning the Conference League, and then we've had trust in him over that season. I think we kept him that season because changing the manager in our European run would have screwed things probably. And then, yeah, I think this season unless something goes horribly wrong, I think we're just going to keep him because he's sort of adapting the team to where it needs to be, getting like Kudus in and Paqueta, who might be injured now, which isn't great. You know, he's playing. He's still obviously against Arsenal. He was playing typical Moyes football, just sit back and absorb all the pressure and just try and stop them from scoring and hit them on the break. But he is trying to play more expansive football, and I think that there's no signs of any fans wanting him to leave at the moment. There's not really any better replacements I can think of at the moment that we'd particularly want. So yeah, I think Moyes got his job like fixed at the moment.
Yeah, 100%. Not sure if this is true. I don't think this is not confirmed, right? Someone said didn't Moyes sign a new contract. I'm not sure if that is.
I've not heard anything yet. I know he chatted about it in the press after the Arsenal game. He said in that he's just going to focus on the football at the moment and celebrate the win, and not get too carried away with that.
No, big up Moyes, man. Big up Moyes. Good win at the Emirates. But now let's preview the games this weekend. We will touch on, obviously, United Villa will happen. We'll touch on that when it comes to Forest versus United. So yeah, but lunchtime kickoff. Luton play host against Chelsea. Hanno, over to you. We will see madness here. We will see madness. I mean, Hanno, first of all, who are you supporting in this game? Hanno, you're on mute.
Yeah, sorry, up the Chelsea, always.
Support the winners, Luton. Support them.
Luton are attacking. But nah. Look, if we win, I will be happy. But like Steve said, bye Chelsea. No chance we will win. We won't win. Right.
You spent $1 billion.
How can you say that after you beat Crystal Palace?
You
lot were the better team.
Man. Oh, wow.
We spent $1 billion. I don't. Well, no. I wouldn't go.
I'm not trying to go bankrupt, mate. I'm not investing most stocks. Man. Oh my God.
Well, bankruptcy might be the best thing. Maybe a transfer ban your day also. But look, young squad, atmosphere hostile won't be very good for them. They like to be cuddled, and given hugs every time they do something good. So yeah, Luton almost beat Arsenal. Arsenal were lucky to beat Luton.
Very, very lucky.
3 points.
Yeah. If Luton finished their dinner against Tottenham, they would have beaten them. If Luton just held on at the last minute, they would have beaten Liverpool. Luton usually score first in their games. They scored first against Liverpool, against City, and against Arsenal. So there is something you can say we can go and get a goal, but I know this team, we won't score. If they take the lead, we won't come back. It's as simple as that.
Why not?
Our away record is trash. 3-1-9. No.
So what's your score prediction on that? What do you think? What do you think?
2-1 Luton, mate. 2-1 Luton.
Oh my God.
They
Listen,
had
I said 4-0 Aston Villa against United, so listen, I should be laughing at myself, but
Imagine telling a Chelsea fan the night after they won the Champions League that less like a year and a half later you wouldn't be winning against Luton and be 10th in the league. I mean, life comes at you fast, man. But hey ho,
well, it's 2 years. 2 years, so
oh man.
Tommy
2.5
taking
years. But at least we have won something. Hopefully we will win a trophy this season. Well, so you supposed to also right. Nicholas
Chris
Jackson,
Wood.
the guys you
I
Nicholas
think he's a Liverpool
Jackson
fan.
has got more goals in all competitions than Hoyland and Gabriel Jesus.
That's
Hey,
cap.
hey, listen, don't
I call cap. Jesus has 8
be
goals
happy
in
that Hoyland
competitions,
scored, yeah. All
4
the
in the
memes
league,
I've
5
been
in the
seeing,
Champions League.
all
So
the
you
memes,
can
He has
all
3
the
in the
memes,
league,
and
4
Sean
in the
Minnis, man.
UCL.
Sean Minnis, to him, like, yeah. Listen, I've been comparing
3 in
to
the
him,
league.
playing his songs. Don't violate Hoyland. I'll touch on him later, but yeah. His comment is interesting. Willie Simon after seeing the Gunners give Moyes his first away win versus the Big Six. I mean, listen,
I
they got
already
2 wins.
man.
Yeah.
in West Ham, man.
Oh,
They're massive. But yeah, 2-1.
West Ham.
Helen says 2-1 Luton. Manny, score prediction in this game: Luton versus Chelsea.
2-1 Chelsea. Mudrak to score again.
it's a doubt. It's a doubt.
Oh, is
so
he?
it's fine.
Oh,
Okay,
it's a
so if Nick Mudrak, then okay.
Broja.
Barkley might score against his former club, but then it will be
Broja.
In Cuckoo, surely.
no, not Broja. I'm gonna
Rosa
go
can
for
score in the brothel.
Hey,
that's
listen.
harsh. That is harsh.
Hey,
But,
Broja.
Yeah, exactly. So if not Broja, I'm gonna go for what about Cole Palmer? Is he fit?
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, he's my
Okay,
favorite.
so Cole Palmer and Gallagher to score for Chelsea. 2-1.
Yeah,
Jeez.
that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, no, go, man. He's been your best midfielder this season, so don't look surprised.
Player.
Well, he will be playing DM, so
He's been playing better than that Enzo Fernandez guy. Ollie, your score:
Familiar.
Luton versus Chelsea. Ollie.
2-1 Luton.
Oh, hey, 2-1
come on,
Luton.
Ollie. See,
We
great
love that,
fancy.
Ollie. We love that. Waleed, over to you now.
I mean, Chelsea are just not convincing, man. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I've been banching them for like 2 years. It's getting boring now. But I'm never gonna forget when we went in the trenches. What we went through every day waking up in the morning. The abuse I received. I'm gonna give it back to every single Chelsea fan, and I'm absolutely enjoying this. Smoking that 10th place pack, absolute mid-table.
Let's
Joke,
do
man.
one more.
Third best club in West London. Don't want to hear it. Anyway, let's get into it. Luton vs Chelsea. I'm not gonna lie to you. I watched the Chelsea Palace game. I still wasn't convinced. Malo Gusto dropped a masterclass. That was a brilliant game from him. Except that I'm still not convinced about that team. I think Nkunku, I think he's already started life in the Premier League very well. Give him a bit more game time. Start him in a few more games. Actually produce some quality, and he might win. So I'll go 1-1.
1-1. Interesting. Let's go over to full-time podcast. Any shock in this match?
No, I think it'll be 2-1 Chelsea, and I don't know why all the Chelsea fans are just have no hope that they're going to beat Luton, because if against Palace they didn't play well, but even with that performance they managed to just about get over the line. And I think even though Luton have played well at home, I still think Chelsea will just manage to do it. So yeah, 2-1.
Isn't that concerning though? Palace are in a relegation battle and Chelsea can't even beat them convincingly. Like I don't see why.
It's not concerning, man.
West Ham beat us 3-1 at home, and you guys almost lost to West Ham. Sorry, to Luton.
No, we did lose. We almost lost to Luton. Exactly.
Yeah, let me make something
We
crystal
almost lost
clear
to
to
West
you.
Ham, so.
It doesn't matter how you win as long as you win.
Exactly.
Nobody. Let me just say. Listen, I'm not just saying this because as an Arsenal fan, I've seen our team have our share of jammy victories. I mean, I'm not going to go overboard and say, a 4-3 win over Luton is the stuff of champions. It's like Bournemouth all over again, and we all know how that went. But you take your 3 points, you be happy, and you move on. I don't want to hear anyone gassing up a tight win over a somewhat underperforming team and say, we're going to run away with this. No, this is the time when you have to be humble. It's as simple as that.
100%. Obviously, before we do get on to Steve's prediction, Hanno, What's your goal scorers for the Chelsea game tomorrow? Who do you think is going to score?
Nkunku, and for them, Barkley.
No. By the way, if Ross
and-
Barkley scores tomorrow, the memes. Oh
and-
my.
and one of the centre backs. So yeah,
Cool.
one of those centre backs.
Mr.
That's
B,
always
your
the
prediction
same
for this one? Luton winning, do you think?
Well, you know what? Last time I had Chelsea to win 2-1, and they did. So I got that one right. So, but this time, no, fuck it. I'm going with Luton. They're going to win and beat Chelsea. Yeah.
Go on, Mr. B.
I'm going to say 2-1 Luton.
2-1 Luton. And
I would have sold you brochure, but now I won't.
listen,
Also,
Yeah,
going
I
back
was
to that
gonna
Arsenal
say,
game, sorry,
my guy,
Boris.
listen. If we can
Yeah.
bring on Brozier on loan, I'll take him. But yeah, I know
Yeah,
you have to
he's
go
smashed.
now, but do shout your
Yeah.
socials out for the people out there.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, on YouTube, Coach's Corner, Twitter, _, that's Instagram, _coach _corner, Twitter, 70 8303030, and then TikTok, Coach Corner 1. Go follow me on there. Tomorrow, watch along to that game. I haven't witnessed a Chelsea win this season, so we'll
We
see.
will be there. We
No,
will be
what's
there.
wrong?
We will
We will
be
be there. And well, if we win, but yeah,
But
no.
if so disaster class, we
Also,
will be there.
Arsenal have been playing like this whole season. By the way,
Yeah.
they've just been able to sneak wins. So yeah, just be.
Yeah, big up to you, Anna. Big up to you, man. Take care.
In a bit 10th place. Thank you.
Big up, Anna. But yeah, next one. Aston Villa host Burnley coming back from a lovely 3-2 defeat for them at Old Trafford. And money. Let's talk about your boy Emiliano Martinez, eh?
I had told you,
Yeah.
son, I am not going to have any of your nonsense. He was not at fault for any of the goals. He made some good saves and good interceptions. He was let down by some awful defending. Diego
Yeah.
Carlos, once again, with a poor deflection for that second goal. And, you know, what I will say tactically is that I wish Bailey were here. He'd agree with me on this. I would say that Aston Villa missed Matty Cash big time, because the formation that Villa put out was simply not quite able to deal with the width that Højlund and Rashford and company were providing. So if Emery had gone with the 3-4-2-1, it would have been better. And this idea of playing John McGinn in a more central role has got to stop. He is better on the wing. It's as simple as that. And it certainly doesn't excuse some really poor defending from the likes of Carlos and Longley, and even Konsa is proving that he's a much better central defender than a fullback. It was one of those games, and it's nice to see Villa fans getting some perspective that they're still third in the Premiership, 39 points, one behind Arsenal, it has to be said. And they've had to deal with injuries. They've had another dodgy result. But credit to Manchester United. That second half was outstanding. And the thing about you lot, Oris, is that you have this ability. I think we'll talk about it later, but I will say, when your backs are to the wall and when you really want to put that pressure on, you can play well. And Ten Hag is a smart tactician. But for some reason, it just hasn't been working this season. But back to Aston Villa, it has been working for them this season. A few poor, dodgy results aside, they do have some really good bounce back ability. And against Burnley, this match couldn't come soon enough for them. 2-0 to Aston Villa. Definitely a clean sheet for Emi Martinez.
Yeah,
and I don't want to hear any more slander from him.
Put man in his face. He loves it.
I don't want to hear, and I don't want you to hear any gassing up of Onana either. You know, Oris, he should have done better for both of those goals. So,
Andre
shut your
Onana,
mouth.
please. AFCON, come quickly for this guy, please. AFCON, please come early because I want to see buy in the box. Listen, I'll talk about United later on when United do host. No, sorry, when United do travel to Forest. But listen, Villa. I'm sorry about Unai Emery. You cannot be playing a high line when you're 2-0 up. It won't work like that at Old Trafford. You'll get caught out. Yeah. United attackers, we like it when teams play on the high line, but when teams sit back, we can't break them. We can't we can't break when teams sit back. Unfortunately, United can't do that. But I'll talk about United later.
Exactly. With an Arsenal connection, we made the same mistake last year. Emery should have learnt from that. But it is what it is. Enjoy your trip to Forest.
Yes, exactly. Villa do host Burnley. I'm gonna go with 2-0 clean sheet. 2-0 Villa. I know Manny will enjoy that. But 2-0 Villa against Burnley. Ollie.
I'll go 3-0 Aston Villa.
3-0 Waleed.
Yeah.
We're gonna get us copyright.
We'll
Gonna get us copyright.
talk about him later. With this game though, I'm not gonna lie to you. With this game, Villa had Sheffield United and they struggled in that game. Almost the whole game, struggled to break them down. Burnley, luckily, are nowhere near Sheffield United. They're more stupid and they're gonna try and go toe to toe with worse players. For the United game, they missed Kamara, definitely in the midfield. They missed a lot of players. Especially Mike Ash, as Manny said as well. But Villa are still going to be at home. They've still got that crazy unbeaten record at home. I don't see Burnley getting anything from this game. I'm going to go 3-0. 3-0 Villa.
3-0 Villa win. Full-time podcast. What about you?
Yeah, I'm going 3-0 as well because Villa have got this somewhat pressure to get a result because is it 1 point in the last 2 against Sheffield United? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think they'll easily roll over Burnley because Burnley haven't looked good all season. So, yeah, 3-0.
Exactly, Mr. B.
You know what? I'm going to upset Manny here. It's going to be 3-1. Martinez won't keep a clean sheet.
Normally, I predict he doesn't keep a clean sheet because of some defensive muck-up, so it's fine by me.
No. Next game. Mr. B will like this. Palace.
Oh, no.
Mid-off.
Oh, mid-off. Obviously, what was it that you lost? Was it 4-1 or 5-1?
4-1.
Oh, you did lose.
4-1.
4-1.
Mr. B, I got a question before we do this prediction.
Yeah.
Are you genuinely scared now? 4 straight losses now for Brentford. Haven't really seen much going forward. And Burnwell, according to FPL, says he's out till March, I think, with ankle injury. Tony still might. His features are in. Like, we don't know.
Oh, don't disrespect Thomas Frank like that. Come on.
I'm not saying Thomas Frank's job is in doubt. I'm not saying that. Surely not. I'm just saying, are you scared that you might get pulled into this relegation battle?
Pretty much worried. Wouldn't say scared. I'm pretty much worried, man. Because we're dropping like a stone at the moment. And if we don't get something here, we are well and truly screwed. I'll tell you, because if we can't get a point at least. And I want to go for a 1-1 here, but I don't feel really confident. But I think we've got to get something out of it. And, we've got to. So somebody's got to. But I think I'll go for 1-1. But I'm not confident.
That's crazy, man.
Fair enough. Money.
It's funny how our friend from the full-time pod spoke about how saddening it is that certain fans of teams aren't so confident. And now our dear friend Mr. B, who clearly was stung by the Wolves last time around, is not so confident. But you should be. Crystal Palace are winless in 8. They're there for the taking. You've got to believe. 2-1 to the Bees. I think the way Palace are playing right now, I just don't know if they really have the... I think some of the defeats they've suffered, fair play to them. They played well in some of those games, but some of those games have been absolute, sickeners. Whether it was the last-minute loss to Liverpool at Selhurst Park or another sickener against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, they just haven't been able to quite get it together, I think. And I think Sam Johnston's injury has not really helped them. Dean Henderson, as several of our Manchester United fans will wholeheartedly agree, is nowhere near Johnston's league. So this should be an opportunity for Brentford to make amends. And you did mention, Mr. B, in your review that a few positives are the return of the likes of Jensen and others. So this should be the game where you get it together. It'll be tight, it'll be messy, but the Bees should sting the Eagles. 2-1.
I hope so, mate. I hope so. I really do.
Keep the faith. Keep the faith.
Yeah. Interesting. Ollie, your score prediction?
2-1 Palace.
Ooh, 2-1 Palace. Another
Mm.
defeat for Brett. Listen, Mr. B, don't worry. When it comes to Fulham Arsenal, you know what to do for that one. Waleed, your score prediction?
I genuinely think this is there for the taking for both teams. I think if Palace lose this game, Roy Hodgson has to get sacked. He should have been sacked weeks ago, to be honest, before the Liverpool game, before the City game. Yeah, I know they played well in both games, but Palace, they look horrible. And I don't understand what the board is thinking. You know, I understand bringing in Hodgson towards the end of the season to steady the ship and keep them up. That was a master stroke, to be honest. I appreciate that. But to give him a contract extension and to let him stay for another year when you're trying to improve, you got players like Joachim Anderson, Mark Guehi, Terry Mitchell, like even Jefferson Lama, midfield, Decore, Eze. At least these are quality players. Johnston as well. These players, if these guys get relegated, I don't see them coming straight back up. And they need to have the mentality of they need to get out of that relegation zone. Like that relegation battle, they need to leave because they've been in the Prem for 10 years. I'm not going to say they've been a nothing club because to stay up in the Premier League for 10 years, it's some sort of achievement. But they've never really had ambitions to go further. You know, you've seen West Ham recently getting back into Europe after they had a long stint away. Everton have started to get back in there. What else? A few other teams like Aston Villa recently. And the time that it's taken for Aston Villa to get promoted from the Championship to the Premier League, they're in the top 4 right now and they're in Europe. That just shows if they need to go out and get Steve Cooper, he's right there for the taking. He's worked with some of these Crystal Palace players before with the under-21s at England. He has to go in there, and I think he'll steer the ship and get Palace playing some great football. But that's if they lose this game. And I don't think they're going to lose this game, but I don't think they'll win this game either. I think Brentford, I think they're just lacking that potency in the attack. Nathan Collins, I thought he was a Wolves player again, that performance he put in.
Yeah, excited, all right.
Absolutely. I don't know what he was thinking there. Atrocious performance from him. Defensively, yeah, been shaky. You know, midfield, yeah, I know the likes of Jensen are back. The Armlook guy, the youngster, he looks all right as well. And the attack is just Neil Maupay in 2024, guys. Like, no, just they need Brentford need a striker. If Tony's going or if Tony's like, we don't know about him. If he is gonna stay, he needs to get back in thick and fast because Brentford need to get some points. And I think they will get points, but not 3 points. So I'm going to say a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, fair enough.
Didn't Banana Armour have a good song about Nathan? Nathan Collins, you're too long gone or something like that, Mr. B?
You've been gone too long. That one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's Nathan Jones. I'm just taking the mickey. Sorry about that, mate.
Yeah. Full-time podcast, what do you think? Palace versus
Sorry, Mr. B. I'm going 2-0 Palace. I think Palace showed a lot of quality against Chelsea. They got unlucky. Unlucky not to get a point there, I think. Brentford were just rubbish against Wolves. So,
listen, Palace.
That's true. That's true. I agree.
Was looking, yeah. Well, listen, Ezzy, they showed something at Stamford Bridge, so you never know about this game. Could go either way, but Brentford, it is really important. I don't know where Brentford fans stand with, obviously, with their manager, but I don't know, man. They just have to get
100%. I don't see why they were on his head. I don't think there's anybody else that could go into Brentford and get them playing any better, do any better than Thomas Frank.
Frank's still the man, Nick.
This one, let's just give our score predictions. We don't need to give our thoughts. I'm going to go 3-0 City. Manny.
Agree. 3-0 City. No, make it 3-1. They're still weak at the back.
Okay. Just then. Ollie.
3-0 City.
Waleed.
I think there's more chance of me getting into the Arsenal starting 11 on Sunday than Sheffield United even scoring a goal. So, I mean, I know Doku and Stones and these players are out, but it's 5-0 City, man. They're gonna.
I think you can do a better job than Eddie Nketiah, though, Waleed.
Yeah, I mean, I just put me left back, bro. Zinchenko, get out, man.
Full-time podcast.
4-1 City.
4-1 City. Mr. B.
Yeah, I'm going 4-0.
4-0. Yeah, and listen, City, obviously they got the Bruyne's not back, but he's close to return. Obviously, Haaland.
So. Don't get me wrong. I want Sheffield United to win. Sheffield United, please. The whole Premier League is rooting for you to win, but yeah, that's just not gonna happen, is it?
You never know. This is huge. Wolves, Everton, Should be a close game. I'm gonna go 2-1 Wolves win, but it won't be easy. It won't be easy. Manny,
I'm going to go with our first Desmond of the evening, 2-2. I think Everton are certainly, climbing really well, and under Dyche, they've been playing some really good counter-attacking football. But certainly Gary O'Neill has shown in his last few games that he can get his players to start performing again, and with a few players coming back from injury, this should be a really, really, really tight contest. There should be goals in this one, and it will be very hard to pick a winner. So 2-2.
fair enough. 2-2. Ollie,
2-1 Wolves.
2-1 Wolves. Interesting. Waleed,
I think with this one, it's actually very tight. Just want to clarify that without the points deduction, Everton will be above Chelsea, which is crazy. But Wolves, in their case, Gary O'Neill, the way he got sacked by Bournemouth, it was harsh at the time, but it's clearly worked out brilliant for both parties. Bournemouth are playing some brilliant football. Haven't seen this football since the Eddie Howe days when they first came back up. And Wolves are doing brilliant as well. This counter-attacking style of play. You got Mario Lemina, probably the most informed Wolves player right now, banging in goals. No disrespect, Mr. B. But I think Wolves, I think with the home record they've had as well, and Pedro Neto's back as well, which is a massive, massive boost for their trying to push for maybe the Conference League. I think 3-2 Wolves.
3-2 Wolves. Then full-time podcast. What do you think?
I'm going to go 3-2 Everton. I think this is a game they need to capitalise on. So, yeah, it was a good performance against City. And I think also they're safe from relegation now. Especially with the 10-point deduction, I think they'll be well off,
Yeah, 100% Mr. B.
Well, I think Wolves must be full of confidence after beating us. But I think I'm going 2-1 Wolves.
2-1 Wolves. Yeah,
I like Wolves, and I like their manager's brilliant. So
yeah, 2-1. I'm going to stick my one. Next game, we do have Forest do host Manchester United. Look, Eric Ten Hag, please keep the same starting 11 against Villa for tomorrow. Norman McTominay. Listen, I told everyone about Scott McTominay. Without him, we create service. Ericsson, I thought, had a very good game. Firmino, some noise going on. I'm not sure. But I think our back four against Villa, Dalot, he had a good game. But all I can say, Eric Ten Hag, do not change anything. Do not bring on Anthony on the right. Do not put Garnacho on the left. Keep the same starting 11. We just need to build on some consistency. But yeah, I don't know what to say because Forest, obviously they beat Newcastle 3-1. Chris Wood with a hat trick. Oh my goodness me!
Woodinho.
I'm not sure, but I think it'll be tight, way tight. Because obviously last season we beat them. I think it was very convincingly last season. But tomorrow, Nuno. I'm not sure, man. I'm gonna go with 2-1 United. If it's the same lineup, but if I see McTominay start, yeah, Forest will win this. But nah, it will be tight. But we have to win tomorrow. We have to. So 2-1 United win. I would say another Hoyland goal. I know someone here. Someone here like Willie did a voice note at halftime calling out Hoyland against Villa. Then he scored afterwards and shut him up. But no, Hoyland with the goal, and I'll give it to Garnacho. But no, listen, you have to build on some consistency now. First up against Villa, yeah, 2 goals, 2 silly goals. We can't be conceding these silly goals like that. For Evans had a brilliant game, even though he shouldn't be here. We've got Traps to say, big up the lads, Eric Ten Hag. Yeah, listen, Traps. Yeah, big up to you, but I don't agree with that last part. But big up to you. But yeah, we should win against Forest. We should win. Manny, over to you.
Well, first of all, let me pay tribute to the Rasmus. He's been watching. He's been waiting in the shadows for his time, and he'd been listening. He'd been praying for tomorrow's all his life, and finally he got his goal. So well done to him. And set pieces are going to be a big worry because you did say, Oris, that you want to see the same starting lineup, but I'll tell you what, Evans and Varane in that center of the defense, you know that in those set pieces, I think they really, really killed you. And I can just imagine right now, if they start Wood again, the game plan's going to be simple. Try and float some high balls in and hope Woody gets on the end of them. Woody, the woodpecker, might just peck a few goals past Onana. You never know. But so I don't think you can afford to play the same team necessarily. If Ten Hag is smart, he'll try and improve the defense a little bit. I know that Evans did have a few important clearances, but positionally as well, he was found wanting. And there was one person, I think it was Hardeep, who said that Evans should never start for United in the Premiership ever again, and I'm afraid I have to agree. He's doing a job, but he's never going to be really one of those indispensable first teamers. He reminds me a little bit of Tom Heaton, and Heaton hasn't even played a game in anger for you lot. So I still think United should have enough to win, and I don't see Nuno being able to bring the magic from St. James's Park back to the City ground. And, of course, bear in mind, they contrived to lose to Bournemouth of all teams at home. So their home record hasn't been the best this season. You put them under pressure, they could crumble. It should be a 2-1 win for United, but I'm going to disagree with you on having the same lineup. There have to be some changes made. 2-1 to United.
What changes would you want, Manny? Because McTominay, for me, is not good enough to start.
I'm not saying necessarily that you should have McTominay in, but you can't deny that he has scored some goals. In fact, there's a joke going around in a WhatsApp group with me and my mates, one of whom happens to be Glaswegian, who says you might as well have McTominay playing as striker because he's scoring so many goals for, Scotland. He can certainly do the same thing for United.
Genuinely.
But in defence, for example, what's up with Maguire? Is he injured or suspended?
We'll be back mid-January, yeah.
Well, then there could be a bit of a problem. Obviously, the idea of playing Luke Shaw as a central defender and to accommodate Diogo Dalot or Reguilon. Have I pronounced correctly? Reguilon?
Yeah, Reguilon, yeah.
I think Luke Shaw's a doubt, though. I think he's a doubt as well.
No, Luke Shaw's
okay.
No, Luke Shaw's fine. No, Luke Shaw's... I think we might start Kambwala, the young centre-back that we have. He started against West Ham.
Yeah, I'd say drop Evans and put that youngster in, and you should be okay. But you've got to work on your set pieces.
Yeah, of course, mate. Our set piece coach, Ramsey, needs to get out, man.
Yeah.
We call
We
that.
should do the same thing, to be honest. Our set pieces have recently have been woeful.
Yeah, man.
From
But
the best in the league to, whatever.
100%. Big up to you, Munzi. You could see. But Ollie, your score prediction here. Do you see a Forest win or United win?
I think United will win 2-1.
2-1 to United. Fair enough. We'll lead.
I think Forest low-key do need a result in terms of trying to stay up with the staying up with the rest and getting results in general. Overall, United, they need to bounce on this result. I think Christian Eriksen coming back in this midfield, although the amount of slate, the amount of disrespect, even from Oris at half-time, the amount of disrespect that guy was getting, he was the difference maker in that game. The way he was controlling the midfield, he was the one that had that calmness, was spraying the passes about, playing the through balls through. He was great in that game. And I think him and Kobe Manu, that little pivot, can work. And I want to see that again against Nottingham Forest. The only problem I might have is you got players like Sangare, players like Gibbs White, who will outrun players like Eriksen, we've got to be honest. But to be honest, if you're looking at players like Scott McTominay, the only thing that's saving his career at Man United is the fact that he can score goals. If he couldn't score goals, he would have been shipped out to West Ham probably in the summer. He's not good enough, in my opinion, to start. Anthony's not good enough in general. I already made a video on him on my TikTok. You can watch that if you want. Did quite well. He is genuinely. I think I said it on here last week as well. I feel like he actually won a football lottery ticket to get a football career. There's no way in hell scouts looked at this guy and thought, "Yeah, you're cold. Yeah, you are going to be the next big thing." He's worse than the guys that I play five-a-side with. I'm not even joking. He's terrible. I think Rashford had a very good game against Villa. He needs to carry on that form. I think he played very well. Garnacho, clutch for him as well. And the miracle came for a man like Rasmus as well. I just think United need to play that same 11. I think Johnny Evans, even that game-winning block he made to deny John McGinn, who had an empty net, That was brilliant. And I think overall in the game, he played quite well, in my opinion, from what I saw. I thought it was all right. I thought in the game against West Ham, he wasn't that bad either. I genuinely think over the past few games, at least I've seen of him, he hasn't really put a foot wrong, to be honest. So I don't see why he should really be getting dropped. Obviously, in the case of it's 2024, Johnny Evans shouldn't be playing for Manchester United. He came in as a coach and he's playing. That just shows the disgrace of the club, the fact that he's playing. But even like Kambuala, when I saw him against West Ham, I don't think it was that bad. And in general, I just think, in this case, I think United should keep the same team. And unless Onana doesn't turn into like whatever again, I think United should be comfortable in this. I'll say 2-0.
2-0 clean sheet as well. I mean, that would be nice if we keep a clean sheet. But yeah, look, we just have to keep the consistency up. Obviously now we'll be playing one game a week because we got Europe, so Ericsson has to find some consistency now, even in trainings and stuff. So look,
Tactic.
we should win tomorrow. Full-time podcast, over to you.
Sorry, Ernest, I'm going to go 1-1.
1-1.
I think it'll.
Don't worry,
just be
we got West Ham soon, don't worry.
City ground under the lights, man. I can see it.
Yeah, I think it'll just be a slap back to reality for Man U. You know, it was a good half against Villa, and I think Garnacho will score just because he's definitely best player at the moment. But yeah, 1-1. I think it'll be hard to get a result against Forest, especially at 5:30. So yeah.
I hope not, Mr. B. What do you think? You going to back United there, or are you going to back Forest?
Well, by the way, I'm just watching that West Brom Leeds game, and West Brom are just taking the lead. If anyone's interested,
Yeah, listen, Leeds can
1-0. But anyway, getting back to this, it depends what United team's going to turn up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Are they going to be shit? You know, like they have been at times, or are they going to actually do something and score some goals, like Holland and all that? Can he get another one? So I think, I think he can. I think it's going to be tight, though. I'm going to say 2-1 United.
Yeah. Look, it won't be an easy game. Definitely not. But look, if McTominay doesn't start, I'll be happy. If we keep the midfield the same, I'm happy with Mainu and Ericsson to start again. But for me, what about Ericsson? I don't think he can play like 3 matches in a row, because for me, I think 1 to 2 matches is fine, but more than that, I don't think he can last that long. But you know, without any other options, you know, Mount is injured. Mount is not really a big miss, but yeah. But we do have key.
I think he should be playing until Casemiro comes back, in my opinion.
We do have key players coming back mid-January, so that's when we should be looking forward to. The title race starts next month. But let's move on to Fulham hosting the league. Doesn't make my channel copyright, but Fulham do host Arsenal in what looks like a tight game. See, Fulham. If you look at them, did they not beat West Ham? Was it 5-1 or something like that?
5-0.
5-0, sorry, 5-0. But Fulham, listen, don't sleep on them. Manny, what's your thoughts? If you drop points, what happens then?
Well, here's the thing. The reason why I predicted that Aston Villa would beat Burnley is that although Burnley actually did a really good job beating Fulham 2-0 at the Cottage, which was a bit of a shocker, I think they're going to get some really good results, but then that's going to be followed with a poor one. And going over to Fortress Villa Park, there is no way that they have much of a chance against Villa. Even given their wretched form right now, they will have Matty Cash back, and Camera should be back, hopefully. I don't know, maybe. But you could say in some ways that Burnley have softened Fulham up for us, and this should be a game where we go over there and really dominate from the get-go. And yes, Fulham did beat West Ham and Forest by 5-0 scorelines, but they also lost to Burnley. Let's put that in perspective. They're another of these teams which can be completely up and down, wishy-washy, all of those cliches. And this should be an opportunity that we take to really lay back down our marker. And of course, last year in the corresponding fixture, we beat them 3-0. I do still, however, have memories of the 2-2 draw we suffered against them, and it could have been a 3-2 loss if Adama Traore could finish. And We've already seen 2 ex-Gunners in Joey Willock and Dinos Mavropanos hurting us in a big way. We now have 2 more ex-Gunners and Alex Iwobi and Bernd Leno to contend with. So I'm not looking for... I think if Iwobi were to score against us and Leno were to keep a clean sheet, then not only would that really dent our chances, but it would completely sum everything up. It's the ones we let go of who come back to hurt us. And I think, Mr. B, you said it perfectly in the group chat, biting the hand that feeds you. But although I'd like to think that it's a case of biting the hand that, casts you aside, as and then saying, you know what, you threw me away, I come back to hurt you. And so I'll ask you just briefly, if you were in Dinos Mavropanos' shoes, would you have celebrated after that goal?
No. You can't really, can you? Against your old team.
I'll never forget that moment.
To heck with that. To heck with that. To heck with that.
Oh.
You know, when a team moves you on, when a team decides that you aren't good enough and says that, you know, you're effectively saying you'll never really make it with us, you come back and score against them. I am doing an Adebayor and lording it up. That's
and I
just
suppose
me.
technically Arsenal's weren't his last team, was it?
Yeah, that's true. And also, when it comes to like moving a player on, it's both like scenarios. You have to look at the player's perspective. Maybe the player didn't want to be at the club anymore. Maybe those scenarios there. Then after he went on loan to other teams, maybe he didn't want to be here. Like I don't know 100% now. I'll never forget that man of the match performance at Old Trafford though. In that blue kit, that will stay with me forever. But in general, like you got to look at it from both perspectives. Maybe he didn't want to be here. Maybe Arsenal thought, yeah, it's right, we sent him on. I'm not gonna.
Maybe I think the fact that he only played not even 10 games for us and was then loaned out, shipped out here and there. I think that pretty much tells me that the club just didn't rate him. Why would you buy a player, put so much faith in him, and then not really give him too many chances? And Waleed mentioned he did have a good game against Old Trafford, man of the match and all that. But as I was saying, if Alex Iwobi were to score and Bernd Leno were to keep a clean sheet, then that would really, rub salt into our wounds. We cannot let that happen. No chance.
Mate,
so,
if Iwobi were to score, I wouldn't care. We got 30-40 million for him somehow. I don't care. You can celebrate if you want to score if you want. I would take that 40 million and run, fam. I will happily have that. But
okay, well, maybe that was sort of segue into my prediction. No clean sheet for Bernd Leno. We will win. Iwobi might score, but that's as good as it'll get for the Cottagers. 2-1, because our strikers still can't hit a horse's backside with a banjo. And Martinelli should be dropped. I think it'll be Havertz and Trossard who will play on the left, but even Trossard had a stinker against West Ham, so I'm not too confident.
Yeah.
Oh boy, picking an Arsenal team is not fun.
Let's go to Waleed there. Do you agree with Manny saying that Martinez should be dropped? What about Saka? Any other players that you think deserves dropping?
For me. In the case of Saka, I mean, there's nobody else to play him with. I think Reece Nelson still relatively quite raw. You get paid like nearly 100k a week. The least you can do is like train your weak foot. Never seen a guy so 1 foot on the wing. He needs to improve that. That's one thing. To go Emma Smith Rowe, I don't know what he's done to get the disrespect that he's got. But as soon as he came on against West Ham, there was one player that was actually driving at them, was starting to create a little bit of something. I don't see why Arteta saw that game. I thought, yeah, let me play Trossard. When you got the likes of Ward-Prowse, who I don't even know, we haven't even spoken about him. He had a brilliant game, especially when the likes of Paqueta went off injured. He stepped up massively. Kudus absolutely took Zinchenko and threw him at the Emirates. I don't know what. He absolutely got destroyed in that game. Bowen, just doing Bowen type things, getting me points on FPR at least, the GOAT. And in general, in terms of the midfield dominance, even Alvarez and like Souček, who personally this season I haven't really rated, but he's bagged in it, so I can't really say too much. But in the case of Fulham, I've been impressed with Fulham at times this season. I saw the game against Wolves. I think they played very well. They got the result. West Ham, I think, was an anomaly, but that's just the Premier League. Fulham can go and slap up West Ham, slap up Nottingham Forest, but then Nottingham Forest can go beat Chelsea, and then West Ham can go beat Arsenal, Tottenham, and United, and like that's just how the Premier League is, isn't it? That's probably the beauty of it. But in this case, in terms of starting 11s, I think defence and midfield really should stay the same, except for Kai Havertz coming back in, because clearly we missed him. Who thought that? I don't know how the hell in 2023 I would have said we missed Kai Havertz, but apparently we did. And then I say play Trossard on the wing because I think Trossard on the wing this season has been better than Martinelli on the wing. When he's played more centrally, he's scored goals, and I think that would be a great way to get him back in the team. And Trossard, last time he was here, got a hat-trick of assists, 1-3-0. It was a great result. So hopefully, I'm just hoping we can get something along the lines of the way we were playing last time. So I'm going to say 2-0. Jesus, please do something.
You know, Arsenal. Ollie, over to you now. Your thoughts and your score prediction for this one.
Yeah, we should win this game. I think bounce back after the result against West Ham, and I think we'll win 3-1.
3-1 West Ham. And do you agree with Martinelli being dropped as well for this match?
3-1 Arsenal.
Do you agree with Martinelli being dropped? Oh, yeah, no.
No, I don't know.
Look, for me, I don't know.
He has to get dropped, in my opinion.
Obviously, with the match overall, if Martinelli is dropped and Trossard is in his position, then I could see an Arsenal win, but it will be tight, man. It will be tight. It won't be easy like last season. I think you guys won there confidently, but yeah, man. It depends who scores first. If Fulham
To be honest, I wouldn't even be against playing Nketiah up top and Jesus on the wing. I genuinely wouldn't be against that at this point. Honestly. I wouldn't.
No, I disagree. I think he's good enough to come off the bench as an impact player, but if you start him from the get-go, unless he's playing against a side as bad as Sheffield United, he will not amount to very much. I'm sorry for that. And if I can play devil's advocate for Martinelli, he is not being served by this perverted, inverted system, as I call it. He plays so much better when he has a traditional left back behind him, Kieran Tierney. Somewhere.
I don't know about that, to be honest. Because last season he bagged 15 Premier League goals in this system. I just think it's genuinely just a lack of confidence, and also
it's not even the confidence thing. If you were to take a look at analyze everything and see how well he's able to play, you know, this particular season, without that support, without that someone overlapping behind him, he does tend to be a little bit isolated. He runs a great deal. He keeps his head down, and it just doesn't help him. And there's going to be a part of me that thinks that with Martinelli and Jesus playing in the positions they are in which they're playing, you switch them around and you get better results. Martinelli has proven that he is more than capable of playing in the center. Jesus can certainly do a good job on the wing. Why not switch it up? But as you said, Waleed, it's my way or the highway with Arteta, and that is no way to manage a team. Sometimes as a manager, you've got to be humble enough to accept that if your system isn't working properly, you cannot bash and mold players and try and tweak them around to suit your wonky systematic needs when they're being urged when the way they play demands that they play in a certain position. It's Aubameyang at left wing back all over again.
Another thing is that we've seen this work as well. I remember when Jesus was injured and Trossard and Martinelli were playing. I think it was against the Burnley game and the Sevilla game. They were interchanging. It was also Trossard going on the left and Martinelli going up top. They were changing and they were linking and they were causing both defenses nightmares.
Agreed.
With this case, it can work. It doesn't matter whether Arteta's feeding it. Or worst case scenario, just slap Smith Rowe. What's the worst that can happen if you play him against Fulham? I don't think.
Agreed. I wouldn't even mind seeing Smith Rowe start. And then if you want, have Havertz as a false nine. But look, I love Gabriel Martinelli. He's my favorite player in that team. He needs, obviously, to be told that he is, more than good enough. He is more than worthy. He's just not being served at the moment by this particular system. And I really don't want to see this poor fellow being hounded out of the club in any way or thrown under the bus.
No. I don't think we'll get to that point. No chance.
But yeah, I'm gonna stick to my 2-1 Arsenal. I think Arsenal would win this game. Mr. B?
Well, you know what? On that last match, I thought the whole team, apart from Odegaard, were dog shit for Arsenal. I totally do. Because, if they keep playing like this, right, and the manager is totally inept for a start, Arteta, he just won't change his tactics. He won't change his team. He keeps doing the same old. Zinchenko is never a left back. I'm not even sure he's a midfielder at the moment. He's pretty poor, wasn't he? Let's be honest.
Oh, he is. So the politician.
So, you know, if you're going to carry on, I'm actually going to go for a shock here. I'm going to go 2-1 Fulham.
Oh,
Because,
2-1 Fulham.
you know, if Arsenal keep going like this, Arteta doesn't change nothing. It's same old, and you're going to choke it again. You probably get third or something.
Please Fulham. I think that'll be the end of me, to be honest.
Yeah.
Full-time podcast, your thoughts and your prediction?
I'm going to go 3-1 Arsenal because I'm the type of person that when a big team, well, apart from Spurs, when a big team has like a bad loss, I'd always think they'll bounce back on the next game. Also, I actually agree with the Martinelli thing. I agree with him probably should be being dropped. I think Trossard is a better player at the moment. I don't know what's happened to Martinelli.
Trossard was poor against West Ham.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was.
but
That's due to West Ham. Their midfield, I thought Alvarez was solid for me. Alvarez, Ward-Prowse. So they've got their midfield. West Ham have.
There's no denying they spent that Rice money brilliantly. I don't think
Yeah.
they could have spent it any better, to be honest with you.
I think also Smith Rowe needs to leave for his own good. I think just because he's a brilliant player. If he wants to get to the next level in his playing career, you know, then go into a team like Crystal
Brentford.
Palace or something.
Maybe Brentford.
Because he'll get all the game time.
Mr. B, would you take Smith Rowe? Mr. B, would you take Smith Rowe?
Well, no, not in this form at the moment. No, he's on. If he was up to his level, how was he good? About 3-4 seasons ago, whatever. When he first come in, well, I don't even then. But
I think injuries have definitely affected him. So
and also distrust. I mean, we gave him the number 10 shirt. We gave him a 5-year contract. Said, yeah, you're gonna be our man. Bear in mind, this is the guy who saved Arteta's job. By the way, I think people forget that. If Arteta didn't integrate this guy into that Chelsea game when he did, he would have been gone. He would have been sacked. He would have lost that game. He would have been gone. I think he would have gone down to like 15, 16, and it would have been the end of our title. Him bringing in Smith Rowe saved his job literally. And the way that he just repaid him like this is sad, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's a bit like Alex Ferguson and Mark Robbins, as it were. We don't know what happened to him afterwards, but I think the overwhelming verdict is: should Gabriel start? Not on your Nelly.
Yeah, exactly. But let's move on. I think everyone's score predictions are looked in. So next one is Tottenham hosting against Bournemouth. Look, this is a good one, you know, because usually, before Bournemouth's good run, people would be like, "Oh, it's easy Tottenham win," but Tottenham with their injuries, still playing the high line with Emerson as their centre back. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go with 3-1 Bournemouth. Manny.
Ooh. Well, I mean, look, I know Tottenham have been really out of sorts, but that is still a huge vote of confidence.
They got 3 goals at Old Trafford, Manny. That's not huge.
They beat them there last year as well, 3-2.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm going to credit Bournemouth, and of course, you know, as Mr. B notes, I do have a soft spot for them, but that is because I work with a Bournemouth fan channel too. And, you know, Waleed did say that the decision to get rid of Gary O'Neill at Bournemouth has worked out for both Bournemouth and Wolverhampton because the style that Iriola has implemented over there at Dean Court now seems to be working after a huge, you know, teething period, a huge learning curve. I think he's got the players he wants to play in his system. And he's got Dom Solanke and Phil Bill firing again. I do seem to remember one game he was playing Phil Bill at left back of all places due to a huge injury crisis. But one would have to imagine that when a few injured players do come back into the picture, they could potentially get a little bit stronger. Now, Spurs are probably not going to, they're never going to be as bad as they were against Brighton. And there is a part of me that thinks that the loss of Christian Romero should actually benefit them because we're not going to see any criminal wild lunges which could, you know, really, you know, harm players' careers. I think defensively they do have to sort themselves out. And it will be interesting to see if the likes of Phil Bill and Solanke and, you know, maybe Lewis Cook and Christie and company can get behind the high line that Ange Postecoglou likes to, you know, play. But even Bournemouth as well have their own defensive issues. And although Neto has improved his form, I wouldn't exactly compare him favourably to someone like Vicario, who has been literally different class this season. And I'm going to go with another Desmond, 2-2. There will be goals in this game, but it will be very hard to pick a winner. And especially at the Tottenham Stadium, I do not see Bournemouth repeating last season's corresponding result, because it was a different manager, different sort of game, different formation. And yeah, 2-2.
2-2, fair enough. Ollie, your thoughts on your score prediction?
I'm going to go with a 2-0 Tottenham win.
2-0 Tottenham win, fair enough. Waleed?
Yeah, this is going to be a great game, to be honest, for the neutral. I think that Alex Scott midfielder, not the lovely Arsenal player, that Alex Scott midfielder, he is a ball. Genuinely, he's an absolute ball arrow. I saw a bit of him at Bristol City last year when they faced City in the Cup, Man City. He was brilliant that game. That assist that he had for the Fulham goal, brilliant. Dwindling through the midfield. He looks a brilliant player. Dominic Solanke as well. I mean, give this guy England call up at this point, the way he's playing, 12 Premier League goals.
Definitely.
You know, back in our anime celebration, left, right, and centre. He's doing the business. I've got to give it to him. And I think Bournemouth as a unit have been they play brilliantly, to be honest with you. I mean, they've swept teams aside like Newcastle, beat them at home comfortably, beat Fulham as well comfortably. I think they are on the up. And Spurs, listen, Spurs are the only team, that Arsenal can lose, but they could concede 4 goals in the same night and nobody's talking about Tottenham. That's just the history of Tottenham, to be honest. But they were horrible from minute 1 to like maybe minute 75 in that game. Horrible, atrocious. Emerson Royale, don't know how he's a footballer. He's like Anthony. I think them two came from the same neighborhood. Genuinely, or somehow they've got some sort of like money heist on. I think they've got like some sort of like secret agency in the Premier League where they've got like secret, like I don't know what they're doing, how they become Premier League footballers, but they're horrible, both of them. I think Pap Sarr in that game was poor. Worst game I saw him play in the Spurs shirt, even though he's played quite brilliant this season. Højbjerg, I think he's finished. Like generally, he's finished at the top level. He can't play out from the back to save his life. Every time I saw him trying to get on the ball, he just looked like he was hiding. He looked like Amrabat in that Galatasaray game. You know when you need a midfielder just to like get on the ball, he's just hiding away. Son, that game didn't really look up to it. Richarlison unlucky as well, but I think Spurs need to bring themselves back. And it's crazy how it's crazy, to be honest, how you got players like Eric Dyer, seasoned pros on the bench, you can't play centre back, can't play CDM. He's refusing basically to play him. Didn't even sub him on yesterday. Still kept Emerson on the pitch for all that time. It just shows he's out the door surely if you're not trusting him to play. So yeah, I mean, I'm expecting probably the same lineup. I don't think it'll be the same outcome, but I think it might be a draw. You know, I'm gonna say 2-2 as well. I'm gonna say the same as Manny. Desmond, 2-2.
2-2. Yeah, 4 goals. Interesting. Full-time podcast.
I'm going 2-1 Bournemouth. I know I said teams would bounce back, but not Spurs. I think this is going to be their downfall now. And Bournemouth have been playing really well. I think Solanke is brilliant. I think West Ham need a Solanke type play. You know, if we'd score so many more goals if we had like just a goal scorer up top. You know, because we can create the chances. You know, we've got Kudus and Paqueta and everyone who battle in midfield and Bowen. We just need like a poacher there. You know.
Don't worry, January, come back from McTominay.
If you have Bowen, if you must sign Solanke, I genuinely think you could push for Champions League. If you ahead and just
we were going to sign Maguire and McTominay, and then Maguire got Player of the Month, and then McTominay was scoring goals every game.
Carried away by these players.
Goals.
Without goals, McTominay would not be here. Maguire, listen, he's had a good patch of form, but he still needs to go. Doesn't change my mind or opinion on him, but look, that we got 60 million for both of them, 30 million for each, Maguire, McTominay, and United said, no, we want a bit more. That was a disgrace of a decision. Now we should have accepted it straight and said, yeah, you can have them, but look, yeah, crazy. But Mr. B, who are you backing there, Tottenham or Bournemouth?
Well, you know what? I think I was the only one to say last on the night at Brighton to beat Spurs. I think everyone else had Spurs to win, didn't they?
I think I said draw.
I said everyone.
All right.
Yeah, full-time podcast back Bournemouth. Ollie back Tottenham, I think. Yeah, he said 2-0 Tottenham. Yeah, no, listen, there's a mix.
Well, I didn't have 4-2, but I had Brighton to beat Spurs, didn't I? So, I think they're going to lose again because, I rate Bournemouth. And as the other guys have just said, with Solanke, I wish we had him because we'd be well away from the relegation zone, We'd be nowhere near it if we had Solanke there. And, I think he's going to get, I actually think he could get a couple of goals again. I think they're going to win 3-1, Bournemouth.
Yeah, same as mine. It could be. That game could be nice because Tottenham, obviously, when you watch Tottenham, you can tell that the injuries happening back to them. There's Madison, impact, Romero, clumsy guy, good. Obviously, back in February or March. Going on with him. So it's just crazy for that. But we do have 2 games left. One of them, Liverpool host Newcastle. Leeds. Where's your boy Eddie Howe, man? Eddie Howe.
No, listen. You can't blame Eddie Howe at all. I mean, I know, one win in the last 6, I think, or 7. I don't think you can really blame Howe, to be honest. I think that squad is dead. If you look on FIFA, their actual stats are 0%. They've got nothing left in the tank at all. They played get back-to-back games, the same start 11 7-8 times now. The injury crisis has caught up to them, to be honest, because they've just got Chris Wooded at St James Park as well. I just think, that I'm hoping, to be honest, that Newcastle get a result. If Kieran Trippier learns how to play football again, hopefully they can maybe get a result. But
there are rumours going. I'm not going to believe it, but there are rumours going. I don't know if you guys have seen it online or Twitter, but there are rumours that apparently a couple of Newcastle players are doing something, obviously, and then.
Oh yeah. Apparently Joe Linton, Pope, Trippier. Apparently they're hiring out strippers or something. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening with that.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, apparently they're
Pope's supposed to be injured. He's supposed to be resting his shoulder. Why is he getting himself involved in that nonsense?
Yeah, I mean, Trippier, you even got Mbappe. You even got your Sunday Mbappe shirt. And that's how you're doing.
Yeah, the Pope should never get involved in that.
But I'm not gonna.
Oh, you bet. You should never get involved.
Rumors are rumors. We'll just wait for that. But listen,
I mean, there was a WhatsApp chat that got leaked as well. So I mean,
there's a message on WhatsApp. Yeah, I've seen it.
I think Joe Linton was another one as well.
Newcastle.
Who was the Brazilians, man?
3-0 Liverpool.
Nah, not 3-0.
Look,
I don't say 3-0.
But Newcastle away from home, they've been terrible on that. They have been. And obviously, I remember, what was it? It was Newcastle versus what a team. The Triple went up to fans saying, "Oh, have you seen the injury?" Forgot who they
Yeah, it was Bournemouth.
Listen, you can't. You're the captain of the club, and you can't say that. So, yeah, 3-0 Liverpool win for me. I'm gonna go to Manny. What's your thoughts on this one?
Oh, this is going to be really, interesting. I know that Liverpool do have McAllister still out, and what's frustrating about the draw we had at Anfield was that we really should have cooked Wataru Endo like the finest sukiyaki. Instead, we did well against him, but then we allowed him to grow into the game inexplicably, and there's been talk about how well he's been playing. I can't agree with any of that.
Yeah.
But Newcastle, they barely have a midfield now, so it is hard to see where they go from here. And I do agree with Waleed. How can you blame Eddie for this? You just can't. Yeah. And it's another reminder that the squad that they've got right now, with all of these injuries, again, they've had more injuries than us, and they're also finding out how difficult it is to really cope with things. It was tragic how they exited the Champions League after providing some wonderful thrills and spills and chills or what have you. And sadly, I'm afraid that this game against a high-flying Liverpool team will probably be a bit of a step too far. And these Liverpool Newcastle games are fun. I call them the Kevin Keegan derbies or the Peter Beardsley derbies or what have you.
Derby.
I think Mr. B might also remember it's the Ian Rush derby and the John Barnes
yeah.
derby as well. And
Mm.
yeah, so normally these games would be quite feisty, but I also do seem to remember. No. Yeah. As I've said, I just think Newcastle are just a little bit weak at the moment, and Liverpool are going to be looking to secure their status as number one and end the year as number one. So I can't look beyond a Liverpool win. But I'm going to say 2-0 because if Liverpool try too hard, then they might not have things going their way immediately. But I don't see Newcastle getting anything out of this, I'm afraid.
Yeah, 2-0 Liverpool. Fair enough. Ollie, your prediction?
Yeah, I'm hoping Newcastle get a result, but I don't think they will. I think Liverpool win this game. I think it'll be 2-1 Liverpool.
2-1 Liverpool. So, bit of a close game there. Waleed, your thoughts?
Listen, the only derby that you can call this game is the Loris Karius derby. Yeah, that's the only derby you can call it. You can't call it anything else. But in regards to this game, obviously I'm hoping that Newcastle can try to get a result. I think, however, if Liverpool do, I haven't really been impressed with Liverpool at home in the past few weeks. Couldn't break that. I mean, they were able to break that Man United, but they didn't have that killer instinct in front of goal. Salah wasn't really on it that day. And if it wasn't for Zinchenko literally gift wrapping Salah a goal as well, Liverpool aren't really that great. They missed a 5v1. Declan Rice's aura just took them off the ball. What can I say? But when it comes to this game, I think they are there for the counter-attack, Newcastle. I think you got Isak, Gordon, Almiron, they are rapid. And Liverpool have had left-back problems for a long time. I made a video on TikTok, which I'll shout out later. I made a video basically saying that Liverpool should sign Anthony Robinson in January. I think put Anthony Robinson in that team from Fulham, he'll do a brilliant job, in my opinion, just to assure out their left-back problems. But I think Szoboszlai in the past few games hasn't really been on it. A bit impressed with him. Obviously, Liverpool swept aside Burnley. You know, Diogo Jota's back once again. And I think Liverpool, I can't see them not winning this game. But you cannot discredit Newcastle. They can get them on the counter-attack. So I will say 2-1.
2-1 again, interesting. Full-time podcast, what do you think?
I'm going to go 3-0 Liverpool because I think Newcastle, they're off form and they're rubbish away from home at the moment. And Liverpool are on form and they somehow just managed to get the job done, you know, in games that they need to win. I know the Arsenal one with that Alexander-Arnold chance was, well, they should have taken, wasn't great. But yeah, I think Newcastle are in for, especially at Anfield, 8 o'clock, you know, on New Year's Day. I think Newcastle are in for a bad game.
Yeah, fair enough. Mr. B?
Yeah, well, I think Newcastle in bad form at the moment. Just, you know, got nothing. Liverpool going to be well too good for them here. But I think they will get a consolation. I think it's going to be 3-1 Liverpool.
3-1 Liverpool, interesting. Next game, West Ham versus Brighton. West Ham was coming from a win against Arsenal and Man United. But let's go to full-time podcast first. Your thoughts on this game against Brighton?
Well, I know Brighton have won 4-2 against Spurs and they play amazingly. I think we'll do exactly what we did against Arsenal and just sit back and absorb the pressure and just try and concede as least goals as possible. Maybe hit them on the break a few times. I know we did last time we played them when we won 2-0, I think, but they had about 91% possession, something like that. I'm going to back. I think I'm going to back the Hammers, and I'm going to go 2-1 West Ham, I think.
2-1 West Ham. Interesting. Manny, what do you think?
Another Desmond. I can't find much to distinguish between both these teams. I do know that earlier this season, West Ham did go to the Amex Stadium and literally cook the Seagulls all ways to Sunday. But and Brighton also have been very, very up and down this season. The constant rotation of goalkeepers hasn't really helped, in my opinion. But there's a part of me that thinks that they are starting to show a bit of better form as of late. And it will be interesting to see how this pans out. West Ham might look to play defensively and hit Brighton on the counter, but Brighton also are going to try and maybe press a little bit. I think for Brighton's good, they cannot afford to play James Milner. That fellow is completely past his prime. But I can't see much of a difference between either team here. 2-2. Desmond.
Interesting. Fair enough. Ollie, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think West Ham should win this game at home against Bournemouth. I'm going to go Brighton. I'm going to go with 3-1 West Ham.
3-1 West Ham. 4 goals there. Will lead.
I think Brighton's a different opposition to Arsenal in the sense that they're not all. They'll have a lot of the ball and they are going to probably create chances. But I think West Ham, they're not going to be as clinical on the counter attack if they haven't got Paqueta fit, because I mean the difference in quality between him and Ben Rama, no disrespect, but it's a massive drop in class for my opinion. Bonner, I don't think we've spoken about his performance, but he rolled back the years with that performance yesterday as well. He's going to need to do that again if he's called upon. I don't know about Zuma and Aged, whether they're fit and available. I think again might be going to the AFCON, I believe. So he might be gone. Ben Rama's gone very soon. Same with Kudus. So I think West Ham need to win this game because they are going to have a lot of their star players missing. So I just don't know, though. I don't think they're going to win this game. I'm going to say 1-1.
1-1, another draw. Mr. B?
As much as I like Brighton, I think they're a very good team, but I just think West Ham are probably a bit on the up at the moment. They're obviously getting the results and just beat Arsenal. So I think they're going to win fairly comfortably. I'm going to go 2-0 West Ham.
2-0 West Ham. And, you didn't back United to win, so I'm going to go with Brighton to win this. Fortunately, but Brighton, a little cheeky 2-1 win. Yeah.
Obviously, you need this result for your Europa Conference League hopes, Man United. So you're hoping that there's points dropped in this game, I'm assuming?
Yeah, and you need obviously Liverpool to drop points for your title hopes, don't you? But no, look, West Ham, I think they've been absolutely fantastic recently in the last 2 or 3 games, because obviously beat against United when obviously Johnny Evans had a nightmare that game. Be against Arsenal at Emirates, which is supposedly a tough place to go. And yeah, you have that momentum, but it's about obviously consistency and finishing chances. But yeah, look, I said 2-1 Brighton, but it could be West Ham win. You never know, anything can happen. But Brighton, I think away from home, Brighton, they haven't impressed me any bit. For me, away from home, they haven't impressed me. But so they just beat Tottenham now, so they might get some momentum from that game. But it should be a good game. Kudus, could he do something? Can Ward-Prowse do something? Who knows? But yes, that's been the last game of the game week 20. So we've wrapped up all the games. We're going to get people, obviously, to shout their socials as we always do. Let's get Manny first. Manny, big up to you for joining. Where can people find you?
Yep, I was on mute. Now, not anymore. First of all, big up to Oris for organising this stream. And let me also start by saying thanks to every one of you who's joined these streams either in the chat or the panelists or on the panel throughout this year. And I wish you all a very happy and prosperous New Year 2024. And also Merry Christmas, because technically it is still Christmas until the 6th of January. So continue to enjoy the holiday period with your families and take nothing for granted. You never know what can happen, especially with what's going on in the world today. Catch me over here on OTF, Coach's Corner with Hanno Trollope, other channels, Del Boy Gunner TV, Danny AFC TV, Tony Claude Gunner TV, Up the Cherries in all departments, Northside LDN, Football United with Anthony Herbert, Old School Gunner, and a few other channels that I don't really have the ability to name at the moment because I am a little bit tired. But yeah, also AFC Talk Show TV. We haven't been on the air for quite some time now. And a huge shout out to Mr. B, Hive, a football chat. I've also been on his channel quite recently. And yeah, just a few more as well. I always love coming on these streams and talking football and letting people know what's on my mind. And I always say that we have to be respectful to one another and avoid sniping and banter, because if we cannot learn to agree to disagree without being disagreeable, there's no point in having any discussions. So cut the banter, cut the snide. Let's make sure we stay on each other's good side. I like making it
100%.
rhyme, you see. And once again, take care of yourselves. Enjoy. Be safe. Be happy. Have a safe New Year's celebration. And do not do anything on New Year's Eve that myself or the rest of the panelists wouldn't do. But for now, as always, farewell to thee. Goodbye. God bless. Happy New Year. And happy holidays to each and every one of you.
Up
Cheers.
to you, Money. Waleed, where can we find you?
I was not expecting this close up. Yeah, just kind of to echo what Manny said. Sadly, I haven't really been able to join as many streams as I wanted to this year, but I've still been trying to do my best behind the scenes. But thank you very much, guys, for everybody that's tuned into a stream, that's been in the comments, anything to be honest, any sort of like interaction with us. We greatly appreciate it. I hope everybody's had a great Christmas for everyone that's celebrating. Happy holidays to everybody as well. And stick to your New Year's resolutions, yeah? I don't want to hear no January 1st, yeah, I'm going to stop doing this. And then by January 32nd, you've really gone back to doing it. We're not having that this year. Stick to your New Year's resolutions. That's for everybody. But yeah, hope everyone's team is doing well as well. I hope everyone's doing well with their families. In terms of where you want to catch me, because I know everybody wants to come watch these streams to see me. You can catch me on TikTok, WillyDino_1. That's where I'm going to be. A few of my videos have been doing quite well recently, so hopefully you guys can give me a follow over there as well. Recently just hit 100 followers today, so thank you very much for everybody that's followed so far. And yeah, that's mainly where you can catch me on Aristotle Football. That's really it.
Big up yourself, Willie. Good to see you. Mr. B, where can we find you? Big up for joining.
Yeah, Mr. B, Hive Football Chat, Mr. B for Life 182. This is actually, believe it or not, my fourth stream I've done today, so I'm a bit tired, to be honest.
You're tired.
I am, man. I really am. But it's great to be on here. You know, I wouldn't have missed this for anything because it's brilliant, this channel. And, you know, Orist is going from strength to strength, as is the rest of the other people on here with their own channels and stuff. And obviously, I'm on 83 subs, and I'd like to probably get to 100 if possible by the end of the year. Well, I doubt it now. There's only about, 3-4 days left. So, but maybe next year it'll be great, and I'll obviously carry on my channel. It's still going really well, and obviously I've got my football debate show, weekend debate show. That's will probably be tomorrow, because obviously it won't be New Year's Day, because I'll be rated or something probably New Year's Day. So yeah, so that'll be then, and then obviously I've got a review for the Palace game. That possibly be Sunday, obviously New Year's Eve. So, but anyway, thanks to everyone. Thanks to all the guys in there again, and Orist and Manny and Ollie and the rest of them on there. And everyone have a great and happy New Year and safe and restful New Year. Thank you. Bye.
Big up to you, Mr. B. Big up. Ollie, big up to you. Where can we find you, Ollie?
Yeah, big up for everyone this year. It's been a great year. Been good to be here this year. You can catch me on my channel, DJ Sinclairo. It says down below there. Big aim was 1.1k by the end of the year, but we'll try to get that next year. And more content will come out next year, definitely. Ollie.Sinclair 556 as well on Instagram and everywhere, fan page 1. And yeah, big up for having me. I hope you all had a good Christmas and have a good New Year.
Big up to you, Ollie. And obviously, last but not least, full-time podcast. Where can we find you?
Thanks for having me on. Thanks, Aris, for inviting me. If you want to watch the pod, you can go on Instagram. It's fulltimepod.official, or on YouTube, it's just Fulltime Podcast. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs as well, because when we do, we've got a collab with Rory Jennings, so that would be very fun. And yeah, hope we have all the new year. Good New Year.
Big up to you.
Yeah, cheers.
Big up to you, guys. Go sub to Full Time Podcast. We need to see that collaboration with Rory Jennings, even though some of his opinions maybe, iffy. Yeah, guys, listen. Obviously, the last stream of the new year. Hopefully, you guys have a wonderful new year. We shall see you in 2024 with obviously not better content, but same content. Obviously, we might have something new content. You never know. You guys just keep your eyes peeled. Keep subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Share it out with your friends, families, cousins, anyone really. But guys, take care. Hope you guys have a good Christmas. Oh, Peace.